Oh my God, we're back again. Hi, everyone. As always, happy Friday. Happy Pop Chat Friday. There's only two kinds of people. Yes, the best. Who are you, my LinkedIn user? Is this Michelle? Kathy Ann is here. Hello. Hey, Amy. We'll let some people trickle in, but we've got a lot to cover today. Of course, another busy week in pop culture and marketing news. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. Um, if you have a moment, please go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, where you're joining from, and what you do. I know a lot of us here tend to be marketers of some kind, but if you're not, all are welcome. Everyone can have a perspective on this kind of stuff that we're going to discuss today. If this is your first time here, a little bit about me. My name is Brianne Fleming. I am a marketer, but also a fangirl of late 90s, early 2000s pop culture, boy bands. Oh, it's Melissa Dawson. Hello. Love the Britney knowledge, Melissa. I teach branding and social media at the University of Florida, although this week I just wrapped up my final grades for this semester and I'm taking next semester off because I'm having a baby next month. So, baby is kicking over here. But that is who I am in a nutshell. It is bittersweet to not be teaching next semester, but a new baby on the way is exciting. And unlike my beloved Backstreet Boys say, I do care who you are, where you're from, and what you do. So please go ahead and introduce yourselves in the comments. Kathy Ann is here. She is a marketer and lecturer in Scotland. I love that you join us, Kathy Ann. So happy to see you. Jennifer is back, a freelance copywriter and content writer in Tampa. Fatima is back. Fatima, send me a connection request. I think we're only following each other, but I want to be officially connected. Jenny's here, a B2B healthcare marketer in Greenville, South Carolina. So, Jenny, funny enough, you mentioned Greenville. I had a friend who just came back from there, and she said it's a great spot for like a little couples getaway. Again, she went kind of in the fall, winter time right now, and I think they stayed in like a nice, cozy cabin or something and had s'mores and all the things. Yes, baby boy Zapier is on the way. That is his name. We're less than 6 weeks out, you guys. It's crazy, but yeah, baby Zapier is coming soon. So stay tuned for updates because the chat schedule is obviously going to change a little bit while I get acclimated, but Pop Chat's always going to be back. And speaking of Zapier, Fiona from Zapier is usually here, but she has taken some time off. So we'll see her next week. And in the spirit of all things Zapier, I'm wearing my merch that they sent me. It says, my workflows have workflows. We're all workflow wizards. So go ahead and connect with Fiona if you haven't yet. We'll see her again next week. And the whole Zapier team is just, they're so down to earth and fun. So we'll say hello to her next week. It's an amazing city for couples and foodies. Ooh, perfect. I will have to check it out one day. Lathan is a brand and integrated marketer looking for new work. So if anyone is hiring, please let us know. Drop some links. What is Pop Chat? It is a fusion of marketing and pop culture. And because we're discussing things like trending topics, we get to know each other beyond just our jobs. So a beautiful byproduct of that is community and connection. Yay, Melissa. It might need a refresh, but I know it's you. She's the corporate social media lead at Western Digital. Make sure you connect with her if you haven't already. And that's really the rules here. Be you, share and reply, connect, comment, and reach out to each other after the chat is over. That's a lot of fun. I've heard some of you have had coffee chats and all these amazing things have happened, which just warms my heart. And again, a special shout out to Zapier, our sponsor for today's chat. If you're unfamiliar with Zapier, it is an AI and automation tool that really does an excellent job integrating all of the apps and tools and programs that you may be using to run your marketing, to run your life. They have a lot of lifestyle integrations as well. And it gets those apps to talk to each other. So you can automate things from Facebook into Google Sheets, or from ConvertKit into Teachable, or vice versa. There's just so many possibilities, and you get 100 free tasks that you can build out in Zapier per month, or 100 free tasks that can run. So give it a try, see what you can start automating. And we have a great suggestion for you later. So stay tuned for that. Anna Laura is here. She is a social media strategist based in Atlanta, also known as social media manager Barbie, which we love, with her pink Christmas tree on her desk right now. Love to see it. And speaking of Barbie, my icebreaker for today is, what toy was on your childhood wish list around the holidays? I feel like I asked for it all, right? We were all watching those commercials on Nickelodeon. Kyle Harris is here. Hello, Kyle. Tell everyone where you're tuning in from and what you're up to these days. I know it's lots of projects and cool things. So what toy was on your childhood wish list? Were you that kid in that viral video who got the N64 and just screamed until the whole neighborhood could hear? I'm trying to think. I drove my parents nuts for a Furby. I think everyone did, right? um, and funny enough, my dad was a chaperone for my brother's field trip, class field trip to New York and Washington, D.C. And he found me one at FAO Schwarz and put it under the Christmas tree. An American Girl doll. I've got to see if there's an American Girl near me in Florida. I think there's one in Orlando. Easy bake oven. Yes. Making brownies with a light bulb. A Buzz Lightyear to infinity and beyond. Kyle, you've got to get your son into Toy Story. Motorized car, the Barbie Jeep. Power Wheels ride-on car. I never got one of those either, the Barbie Jeep or any of those big ride-on toys. A Razor scooter was a big one for me. I also wanted a pogo stick and like a skip it, all those things just to be outside. The Barbie Grand Hotel. I feel like I can picture this, but I need to see what it looks like. Plus one on an American Girl doll. I ended up getting Molly and Samantha. Yeah, it's a big deal to get, I love that they all have their own names. Courtney from X is here. I was the girl who had the flying fairy toy that flew into the fireplace. The Sky Dancers. Yes, I had one of those as well. That is a hilarious video. And if you hadn't seen, there's a fashion designer named Haley Page who designed her Halloween costume as a Sky Dancer a few years ago. It was so brilliant. Never got the Power Wheels, but I did use my sister's Easy Bake Oven when she got tired of it. Yeah, why didn't the baking thing did not stick with me. I wish I was a baker. You would think that our entire generation would be bakers, but didn't work for me. Samantha, I actually still have her. Amazing. American Girl store in Nashville for my 30th birthday. Did you get anything? Aw, your son Ollie has a Buzz Lightyear and Woody toys. I had to get them for him. Of course. Of course. Oh, Courtney, you've seen it. Awesome. Courtney, I love that you're on X, but if it feels lonely over there, come find me on LinkedIn. Find all of us on LinkedIn. Jennifer, I was 3 the year of the Great Cabbage Patch Kid rush. They were nowhere to be found. So my aunt, who did all kinds of sewing and crafting, made a Cabbage Patch Kids dolls for my cousin and I, and made them to look like us. That's so sweet. That's love. I'll have to check that out. Hello Kitty. Is this the American Girl or is this Barbie? I'll have to check out this link. Molly and Samantha book sets. American Girl, it's not something I ever got into, but I think with my daughter, I'm going to have to reconsider. Atari. Ugh, so many good gaming consoles and things. What is the latest? Is it PS5? I feel like not enough time has passed. I mean, too much time has passed for it to only be PS5. I feel like it should be like the iPhone, where it's like the iPhone 16 or whatever we're on. Like, wasn't the PS2 like in 2002? Like a really long time ago. They really take their time with those releases. Okay. Speaking of flashbacks and things, let's do today in pop culture history. Starting with a famous birthday, the queen of Twitter, Dionne Warwick, is 85 today. And if you were on Twitter when things really took off for her during the pandemic, she's still at it. um, she is just the darling of Twitter. I know her niece, Brittany, has helped her really get her platform off the ground, but you can look up these articles and see like some of her best tweets to Pete Davidson, Chance the Rapper, you name it. She's tweeted them and she has like her own language. PS5. Yeah, PS5 and Labubu. That's what's going on today. Like, she's hilarious. I just heard about Leonardo DiCaprio's 25-year rule. His loss, you don't know what you're missing. You know what they say, 85 is the new 25. So happy birthday to Dionne Warwick. And I'm about to share what is probably my favorite fun fact I've learned this entire year. So wait for it. But on this day in 2006, Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You reached gold status, but gold status not for sales or streams, or wasn't streaming back then. She reached gold status for over 500,000 sales of All I Want for Christmas Is You as a ringtone. In 2006, she was the first ringtone to receive gold status. And they used to track these back then because ringtones were such a major revenue stream for artists. And I didn't know this was a thing. I looked this up. This is so funny, you guys. You can see here, this article is dated June 14th, 2006. Artists go gold and platinum with ringtones. I took some notes from this article. Rick Ross, Hustlin', was gold. Ready for it? Miss New Booty by Bubba Sparks. We all had that as our ringtones, I guess, because it sold over 1 million ringtones and reached platinum status, I want to say, because there was gold, platinum, and diamond, I think. And back then, about 10% of music industry revenues worldwide came from ringtones. Can people even buy ringtones anymore? Yes, it's still a thing, I learned. I'm trying to think of a more recent one because I went to look up some of the stats, like Rolling in the Deep by Adele. I know that's, not new, but that's one of the top ones. So yeah, this article also said most certifications were awarded through about 2009 when ringtone downloads peaked. If you remember what your ringtone was, what one of your ringtones were, drop them in the chat because I'm here for the nostalgia. I know I had not Hollaback Girl. I had Sweet Escape by Gwen Stefani. Erica's back, all dealing with health issues. Hope everything's okay. And your time at Avenue CX has ended. I'm sorry to hear that, but I hope today is a great pick-me-up for you, and your Pop Chat fam is always here. So tell me what your ringtones were, but in the spirit of reminiscing, I want to show you some of the top certified ringtones in history that I dug up with ChatGPT's help. These have gone multi-platinum, meaning they had more than 2 million streams. Ready for it? This is gonna bring you right back. Okay. Lil Wayne's Lollipop, 5-time multi-platinum. Laffy Taffy by D4L. I could hear it now. I could just hear my phone ringing. Hinder, Lips of an Angel. After I read this, I went down a huge just Hinder playlist rabbit hole last night. Shop Boys Party Like a Rock Star, a classic. And Irreplaceable by Beyoncé, a little more recent. So, Panic at the Disco, my ringtone. Donnell Jones and Left Eye was my ringtone. Kim Possible. That's a good one. So there you go. A little reminiscing for you. And as far as hashtag holidays go, today is National Salesperson Day. And I'm sharing one of my favorite scenes from Friends when Joey gets pitched by an encyclopedia salesman who's going door to door. Oh, I'm happy to hear that, Erica. Awesome. So my question, we're doing a little warm-up question today before we get into trending topics. I want to know, is there an official Pop Chat playlist? You know, we had one in 2021, Anna Laura. Tony Estacio led that. And, you know, I think we need to bring it back. We could put Barbie Girl on it, Linus and Lucy. So I guess that's also a good question. Are we still using ringtones? Because my phone, I mean, it's usually on silent. We're just all in this silent era, I think. Oh my God, your voicemail with your ringback tone. Still remember trying to record the line from Spiderwebs to set it as my voicemail message. Oh my God. And there were so many songs back then that where the artist would put like a phone lingo and ringtones and answering machines in it. Like Britney Spears did that with I think it's at the end of Lucky or at the start of Lucky. So a little warm-up question for you guys. If you could articulate in your own words, there are no wrong answers here, but what is the difference between marketing and sales? Maybe one difference. I think there's lots of differences, but if you could articulate the difference between marketing and sales, or even describe where they may overlap, what these roles are like. I would put the Kim Possible ring back on my phone, but I don't know how to do that now. That's a good question. Like, are we not doing ringtones because the websites no longer exist? I'm sure there's an app now you can just browse and buy them for like $2.99. They should be like 10 cents now if they were $3 back in the day. My phone's been on silent for more than a decade. Yes, I have never heard my husband's phone ring, ever. No, all of our phones are on silent because we're overstimulated 24/7. It's true. Sometimes I wonder if having it on silent overstimulates me because I then feel compelled to check it more. You know? Where's Britney? Britney Spears? Where is it? Where is she? So I don't know. I feel like I'm checking it more, being like, oh, did I miss something? But then I have my watch, which also overstimulates me. So Anna Laura is kicking us off. Sales is what you're trying to accomplish. Marketing is how you get the word out. Okay, I like that. Marketing is, getting that message out there. Marketing is getting exposure for a product and service, while sales is actually selling it and making the sale. Yeah, doing the conversion. The eternal question. Yes, it is. Can go further with sales versus marketing versus advertising. Yeah, versus branding. Oh my God, it all just kind of blurs sometimes. Lathan says marketing builds your brand for sales later on. I like that. I always think of branding as branding is what gets people to choose you. They choose you for your brand. Marketing is how they hear about you, and sales is how the conversion happens. Marketing and sales work in tandem, Kathy Ann says. Marketing builds the influence, and sales is about that direct action. Yes. Oh, yes. Dionne Warwick's niece. Yes, she is a powerhouse. She's awesome. I haven't seen her in a while, actually. I don't know if she's still on X, but yes, you're absolutely right. You were right there, Kyle. Jenny says marketing is building brand awareness, and sales Marketing is building brand awareness, and sales is the relational process of moving buyers through the buying cycle. I like that too. Speaking of this, Kyle, going back to this, I forgot what it was about, but there was an SNL skit with Dionne Warwick, and they even had Britney. Someone played Britney in it. I don't know if you saw that. Probably. So these are some good answers, and I thought I'd put together a little handy dandy slide showing some of the differences. Rose is here. Welcome, Rose. Marketing is warming up the audience and sales is closing the deal. Ooh, Rose, I like what you did there because we're calling this our warm-up question. So to kind of compare it side by side, a lot of it is what you guys said. There's no right answer to this, but some of the differences: marketing gets people interested, sales gets people to buy. I thought this one was interesting. Marketing focuses on groups and kind of mass brand awareness, where sales focuses on individuals and the conversion. I don't need to read through all of this. You all are so smart, but in case you wanted a little handy dandy graphic for today, here it is. And sometimes we have to explain these differences, and sometimes our roles can get kind of muddied and we have to step into other areas, which I know we try not to do. Let sales be sales, let marketing be marketing, but sometimes there is some overlap, especially on lean teams. Okay, let's jump into trending topics. First thing, the Golden Globes. They have introduced a podcast category. Thank you, Erica. Feel free to screenshot it. I can go back if you need it. The Golden Globes have introduced a best podcast category. Let's see who's on it. We have Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard, Call Her Daddy, Good Children, the Mel Robbins podcast, Smartless, and Up First. I've only listened to 3 out of the 6 here. But kind of a big deal if you're a creator. I mean, Mel Robbins is an author. Alex Cooper, started as a creator. Dax Shepard, of course, is an actor and kind of had that as his claim to fame. But if you're, a creator, this could be a big deal as far as something to strive for. But I was discussing this with my husband, and what do we think this nomination or potential win actually means for these podcasters? How will it affect them? Is it just a little accolade? Will it affect their streams or their opportunities? Does it really mean much? If you could articulate it, tell me. What I think is cool about it is it puts it puts podcasters and creators in kind of a traditional media space, because the Golden Globes, it's on TV. It's, 70 years old. I don't know how long it's been around, but I feel like it's a big deal when a creator crosses over from just being a podcast or just being a YouTube channel or just being a TikToker, and all of a sudden they're put in, TV, movies, newspaper or print, just moving into traditional media. I feel like it just, cements your credibility in a different way. Erica says they might get more exposure and can showcase it to future jobs and podcasts. Yeah, it's definitely good job security. But Lathan says award shows are losing their relevance at large, and they are trying to get young people back. I think it will give podcasts bigger standing instead of getting their one industry awards. I hope I read that correctly. I think it will give podcasts a bigger standing instead of getting their one industry awards. Yeah, I like what you're saying here, because it's kind of implying that this was a very calculated move to not only just benefit those podcasters, but for the Golden Globes to attract a younger audience. I think that's really interesting. And it reminds me a few years ago, I don't think they do it anymore, but Adweek had creator awards. I forgot what they called them. Were they the Addies? We already have the Addies. Um, but I think there should be more accolades given to creators for things. Jenny says it gives podcast credibility for sure. Kathy Ann says validation. They will be known by more people. People might be motivated to listen, so it might be good for increasing audience. Might be able to transition from content creation to actor. Ooh, it is credibility that is a valid career. Yeah, and I think of Charlie D'Amelio a lot in this context. I know she was never a podcaster, but again, when she crossed over into traditional media and was on Dancing with the Stars, just kind of on it's just a different stage, if you will. And then she, spun that into performing on Broadway and, doing all these different things. So, oh, got it. Their own industries awards. Sorry. Anna Laura says it lends credibility to podcasting as entertainment. Yes. And gives massive exposure. Yeah. It's like podcasts are right up there with TV and movies. We're being entertained just in an audio format. That's a great point. Podcasts have a lot of power in creating parasocial relationships rather than traditional media that might feel less accessible. Yeah, it's funny how you really feel like you get to know a podcaster. Um, I've been listening to this parenting podcast recently, and this woman has just helped me so much figure out mostly how to foster language in my daughter. And the show is called Talking Toddlers. And I feel so connected and helped by this host that I sent her this long email in all the ways that she's helped me. And we've had this email chain going back and forth. And it's really special. I don't know, seems out of the range of Golden Globes. Wouldn't YouTube creators and influencers be closer? Huh. I feel like podcasts being audio are more in line with radio, not the Golden Globes sphere of influence, because Golden Globes is TV. Huh. That's a good point. That's a good point. I wonder if they'll do this. I mean, these podcasts I think they might have YouTube versions. Oh, and thank you. Yes, it does help if you answer in, A1, and let me know, because sometimes when I go back and I try to pull out answers to highlight, I can't tell what that answer coincided with. So yeah, if you can get into that habit, it's appreciated, but not required. Thank you, Anna Laura. Addison Ray, another good example of a shift from content creator to musician. Yeah, how's she doing? Rose says it removes the just a podcast stigma. Oh, I like that. They're, with the big dogs. And if you're a podcaster that isn't nominated, it does kind of legitimize it as a potential career. I wonder if there's something in podcast being audio only that makes them feel more personal to their audiences, almost more like a phone call from a friend. Stay tuned for this, because we have a question at the end about connection when it comes to long form versus short form video in particular. And I don't want to spoil it, but the conversation we're going to have is about how we're possibly having deeper connections with long form content versus very quick hits of bite-sized short form video. So hold that thought, and very curious to hear more from you, Anna Laura. Ooh, the Globes are already on the ropes from a credibility standpoint. I feel like this takes it down market further. Yeah, I saw them get some flack from the host of TMZ. Surprisingly, he went on a rant because they didn't include the number one podcast in the world, Joe Rogan, and just how that seemed kind of like a biased take, that they're only including kind of left-leaning podcasts, as he worded it. So I don't know. There's a lot of heat, but Hollywood is very left-leaning, as he said in his video. Kathy Ann says, like many podcasts have YouTube video versions, so you see the video of the interview. Yeah. And we're gonna talk about that too, because Spotify has introduced music videos. But first, we need to talk about poor Joe Jonas and how he can't parallel park. Some of you, I think, might be here just for this topic. I posted about this yesterday, and a few people were saying they think this was a stunt. But if you didn't hear about this, there's a video with 20 million views on TikTok now where someone filmed Joe Jonas trying to parallel park in New York. And some people said it was a stunt. And I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know what it would be a stunt for. It almost seems too random to even be a stunt. But he even commented on the video, and Joe Jonas is just always hilarious in the comments. I've been waiting for the Joe topic. Weird leaving out Rogan. Yeah, it's kind of like the elephant in the room. It's the best podcast in the world. Not the best, but the number one podcast in the world. Bless Joe Jonas. I think he's doing okay. The world is forgetting was my favorite news this week. And the brands are having fun. We're chiming in. Let's see. Hold on. Sorry, Zapier. Let me move you over here for a little. Dyson, Paw Patrol, Chevrolet. Some of them are incorporating song lyrics and song titles. If you had a favorite comment from a brand that you saw, let me know. I don't think it was planned. Yeah, I don't think it was planned either. Care Bears, give him credit. He tried, Uncrustables, I didn't know that this was their brand voice, but they said, God forbid he finally answers, what can't he do? So, fun times. I wanted to see a car brand partner with him to showcase their parking assist technology. Now that I'm hearing it's a stunt, maybe that's what this was. Personally, finding a spot at NYC is harder than getting into it. I'm glad I'm not a public figure because it would take me even longer. Yeah, SOS. Sorry, guys, that I'm kind of coughing. It's the baby taking up all the space in my midsection, and my lungs just aren't working. Okay, so this would be a weird thing to stage. I mean, what is it promoting? I mean, I guess we could really go down a rabbit hole and say, now maybe their streams are up. Who knows? But I want to talk about vulnerability with this because Joe's leaning into it. We're loving that celebrities are just like us. But I'm curious, what effect does vulnerability have between a public figure and their fans? This could also apply to brands too, between a brand and their customers, if a brand shows some vulnerability. So let me know what you think of this while I breathe and catch my breath. Baby Zapier is really freaking me right now. And in particular, I wanted to discuss vulnerability because that podcast that I told you about, the parenting one that I've been listening to, the host was talking about, oh no, it wasn't that podcast. It was a different parenting podcast, I think. But someone said that it's so important to be vulnerable, even as a parent, to make mistakes in front of your kids and don't, gloss over them. Show your kids that you're making mistakes and be vulnerable with them, because then you're showing them that it's okay for them to make mistakes, because none of us are human. I mean, none of us are human. You guys, we're all human is what I mean. Unless we're all aliens. Anna Laura says, to your point, it really is the novelty of celebs are just like us. It humanizes massive celebrities in a way that makes them feel more approachable and likable. Yeah, my friend Britt, I wish she was here, but she wants a whole series out of this. of celebrities, boy band members in particular, trying to do very common everyday things and failing at it. um, I would be entertained. Ooh, to use the Cambridge word of the year, it will build that parasocial relationship between the public figure and the fans, humanizing the celebrity. Yeah, because we've all struggled to parallel park. Amy says it's so important, makes the public figure seem more relatable, approachable, and human. Oh, you know why hasn't anyone? I'm sure they have, but my I think favorite Jonas Brothers song is Only Human. So someone needs to comment with that, I'm sure. Audi had this great ad when parking assist first became a thing, the luxury car for people who can park themselves. What about God, what brand was it? The Boston Super Bowl commercial for Smart Park. Smart Pack. Ugh. I hate being that person that doesn't remember the brand. Was it Hyundai? Smart Park? Smart Pack? That was like one of my all-time favorite Super Bowl commercials. If someone can look that up. If it was Hyundai, then I'm going to be proud of myself for remembering the brand from a Super Bowl commercial. Ooh. Ooh. Tangentially related, I've seen a lot of backlash on TikTok with creators being annoyed by major brands commenting on their posts to get free engagement and appear more human. It feels fake. You know what I hate too, Anna Laura? This doesn't bother me as much as when brands will take viral tweets that are like funny and screenshot them. The brand isn't even mentioned. It's just like a funny, relatable tweet. And they'll post that screenshot on their Instagram as a way to kind of illustrate their brand's culture and brand voice, but they're stealing a tweet from someone. I've seen a lot of like fitness brands do that, where it's like, maybe it's a funny tweet that, about waking up early or something. And, if you're a fitness brand, maybe that's something you talk about is waking up early and working out, and they'll take a tweet that they're not even mentioned in and then post it. I don't like it. Was it Hyundai? I'm right. Yay! Good job, pregnancy brain. Rob Lowe explained a man of the people technique with fans, and now I feel like they are all acting. Ooh, I need more information on this. As much as we like glam, we like our celebs to be normal and relatable. That is true. Ray's here. Hi. Because of some of the AI uncanny valley backlash that is happening with brands, there has become an authenticity hunt, and vulnerability is a tool to get there. Ooh, okay. I like that you're approaching this question from the brand lens. Can't parallel park. This was the best. Gymshark does that. Ugh. Still, I don't like it. Don't like it. Make your own funny tweets. Fans perceive them as human, not performative. Well done. Okay, let's talk about Spotify adding music videos. Music videos are back. Oops, I kind of jumped the gun on that. But yes, Spotify now has it where you can switch to video mode and you can watch the music video for an associated song. I'm curious about what this is going to do for your phone battery. But my question for you, kind of a deep one, I think. How does adding video to a song or message change the way you interpret it? Does it enhance or detract from your experience? I think all in all, it probably enhances it. But if you can think of any detractors where like you've listened to a song, I don't want to kind of spoil what I think and put it out there. I want to hear what you think first. But is there an instance where not having imagery to go with a message is a better experience? Just kind of share your thoughts on this. I think this is Melissa still. This is why I believe brands should compensate the creator in some way if they comment on a viral post. That's free marketing, and I don't think that's fair to capitalize off the creator's work for free. Ooh, you guys need to sound off on this. This is an argument I haven't heard about. So I think we need to put it out there, especially if a brand takes a clip or takes a tweet. Ugh. I had one viral tweet and the meme accounts would repost it. Some of them didn't even tag me. One of the biggest ones, I won't repeat it here. Well, I guess I'll say it. I just don't want to say the bad word on my wholesome stream, but F Jerry offered me $50 for it, and I just left it alone. Like, you're not using my stuff. Make your own funny content. Chris is here. Hello. Ooh, good take. Not just battery, but attention, watching music videos while driving. Yeah, I don't enjoy watching music videos on my phone in general. So maybe if it was the desktop version, I would watch. Benjamin's here. What's up, Benjamin? Thank you so much. Happy Friday. Ugh, just as MTV is ending in 2025, Spotify takes the lead with music videos. It depends. Most likely enhances it. I don't watch them much anymore. I know. They're just not what they used to be. If it's not glitchy like it has been on Spotify so far, it can be distracting. Lathan says, I think this is tough. Sometimes I interpret the story of a song differently than the music video. So if it's too far off, it could change how I hear the song for better or worse. That's exactly how I feel. I'll give you an example. This isn't really related to video, but Taylor Swift's song All Too Well, which is, even she said, is her best song ever. When she released Taylor's version, she made the song 10 minutes and released the full lyrics, and it completely changed the mood of the song. It was more it was like the original short version was more kind of like longing and thinking about a relationship that was in the past that didn't work out. And then you get the 10-minute version and there's more details that really villainize her partner, her boyfriend in the relationship. And it just kind of like definitely didn't ruin that song for me, but it really changed how I experience it. What was the tweet? So I tweeted in 2023. I was in Santa Clara for the Eras tour, actually. I had to fly out to California because that was the only place I can get tickets. And I stumbled across the corporate office for Zoom. It was this huge high-rise building with Zoom's logo on the top. And I tweeted and I said, why does Zoom have offices? Why does Zoom have offices? Why aren't they just all on Zoom? And it went viral. I'll try to find it. I'll try to find it for you, but yeah. I think it enhances, it gives visual interpretation from the artist. Now, it could detract from the fan and audience experience as you may envision your own visual in your mind as you hear a song. Yeah, especially like if they release the video way later after I've already like fallen in love with the song, definitely changes it. I only watch old concerts, but my listening age is 76. Yeah, we all know our listening age now. If you guys want to know a fun fact about me that's very on brand, it's that I had music videos playing at my wedding. Like an entire screen came down during the reception, and it was like TRL in there. That was my dream. If I'm on Spotify and Alora says I only want audio, I'll go to YouTube for a music video. So many platforms are trying to do too much and it's distracting. Ooh, sometimes you just want music, and music videos are a separate type of entertainment. This all makes sense. I'm going to read a few more of these and move on. I think this is Melissa. Yes, I love music videos. I found myself wanting to watch a song's music video while using Spotify and then have to switch over to YouTube to satisfy that. Yeah, I wonder if there will be a big drop off point, like not having retention with it. Chris, music videos are my favorite ever. Not all are created equal, but the addition of video gives rise to amazingness like OK Go or Beastie Boys Sabotage. There's so many, so many. Oh, Larger Than Life without the space visual. Fun fact, Larger Than Life is one of the most, God, I can't breathe. This baby, you guys. One of the most expensive music videos of all time. I think it was like 2.6 million. Ray says, I'm not a fan of video that just reinforces the song's message, but really like when the video is completely unrelatable and tells a B plot. Garbage. Ooh, I haven't heard that in a while. Garbage has many examples of this. Queer, special, the world is not enough. Pick one. Yeah, we like a hidden meaning or a plot twist. Matthew, that's okay. You don't have to be a Swiftie. Love concert videos. Can be wonderful. Awesome. All right, friends, I'm going to move on. But while we're on this subject, sometimes, I throw a book rec in here. And Chris, you're just in time. Have you read this one? Stories That Stick by Kindra Hall. I bring this up because she talks about visuals in the context of storytelling and brand storytelling, and how it's actually more powerful to sometimes exclude videos when you're telling a story or doing a pitch. She uses an example when she's doing a keynote speech. She tells a story about being on a roller coaster, and she's at this amusement park, and the roller coaster goes all the way up to the top. And, I forgot the gist of the story, the main theme, but she's saying if she were to have a slide behind her that showed a roller coaster, that wouldn't be as powerful, because as she's telling the story, all of the listeners are envisioning a time that they've been on a roller coaster and, adding their own experiences and context to the story. So sometimes if you add visuals, it's actually ruining that. So just something to think about, especially as, it's always like video is everything and we need visuals and all the stuff. Maybe less is more. Love that you've read this. I didn't read the audiobook version. I actually was on the where is it? Do I have that book on my shelf? I was on her launch team. So I got an advance copy and got to help promote it, which was really cool. I got a special edition. But I believe it. She's so animated and great. All right, Feel Good Friday. Share some good news. I want to hear. I'll just leave this open-ended because we got to move on. I got like 2 more questions or so. But if you have some good news to share, something you're excited about. My good news, as I mentioned, is that I just finished my fall semester. So that's really exciting. Now I can get in full kind of Christmas mode and have that chapter kind of closed and behind me. So share some good news. But also, don't spend too much time on it because we've got a pop quiz with our giveaway from Zapier. And the way we're going to award this is whoever gets the question right first. I have some trivia. I'll give you guys a second to gear up your keyboards. I can't remember what the question was. Oh, okay. I see it now. Okay, get ready, because today's National Salesperson Day. We've got a question about sales. What is the best-selling soundtrack of all time? The first person who gets it will win some great merch from our sponsor today, Zapier. Ooh. Your daughter's home from college? Yay! Winter break. Rose said sometimes adding a video distracts with spectacle instead of substance. Feels performative and overly commercial at times. Well said, Rose. Happy you're here. Good news, going to be a guest editor on a journal about consumer behavior around wine marketing. That sentence just kept getting better, Kathy Ann. Congratulations. Okay, we've got some answers going. Best-selling soundtrack of all time. Titanic, Dirty Dancing. Kathy Ann, you are correct. The answer is The Bodyguard. Now I'm wondering if Zapier can ship to Scotland. I will find out if there are terms and conditions here, but hopefully we can get you some merch or something special. But yes, the answer is The Bodyguard. So, like I said, Fiona from Zapier is out of office for right now, but we've got some giveaways and things to work on when she gets back. Greece. These are good guesses, you guys. Jennifer, honorable mention. Would like it to be The Wiz, maybe Frozen. These are good. Maybe Wicked will surpass it. Who knows? So, Kathy Ann, forgive me. Let me look into this for you. Hopefully, we can get some Zapier merch on the way across the pond to Scotland. I'll see what we can do. What is The Bodyguard? I've never heard of this movie. I've never seen it, but Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You is pretty much the lead. Well, it's actually Dolly Parton's I Will Always Love You that Whitney Houston covered. Came out in 1992. The Drum Challenge? I don't know. I've never seen it. This is a pop culture blind spot for me, friends. So if you have more thoughts on this movie, please share them. I need to add it to my list. But let's get into question 4. It's a personal one, and it's sponsored by our friend Zapier. They want to know, do you have a portfolio? Is it private or public? And when was the last time you updated it? No shame here. Do you have a portfolio? Is it private or public? And when was the last time you updated it? Yeah, it was a Dolly Parton original. And she wrote, I Will Always Love You and Jolene in the same day. Yeah. Exactly. Tell me about your portfolios, friends. What is this, Anna Laura? If it's a Pop Chat playlist, I will freak out. No, I haven't. The soundtrack I could not get away from when I went into college. I guess there are worse soundtracks, you know? I'm now thinking about the time when I graduated college and my portfolio was literally like a giant binder of writing clips. I don't really have like a public portfolio. I have a public like body of work and blog where I try to share my expertise and things, but I don't have like, I made this and I made this. It's just kind of like, this is all the stuff that I've created on my website. Public, and it's so old. No shame. We are going to offer a solution to this. Jennifer says, I need to put one together. So welcome tips on best platforms to use. Yes. And especially if you're a freelancer or you're on the job hunt, you know, we'll get this cleaned up. Lathan says, I do have a public portfolio. There we go. Updated it a few months ago. Good to have. Benjamin, I know you made one in my class. I think a few months ago, I updated it shortly after I started on a new client. I might need to make a private section, though, for anything I can't share publicly. That's smart. And I've seen a lot of people put their portfolio. I'm sorry, you guys. Put their portfolios or some sections of it behind a password. Anna Laura says, I have one. I made it during my last round of interviewing and applying. A few years back, I made a Pinterest board of my work and used that as my portfolio. That's a good kind of interim solution. Public portfolio, I think I used a service like Link in Bio for it. Oh, that's, I could see how that works. Last updated when I was looking for a job last year, so not too old, but wouldn't be bad to take a peek. split it into a content writing portfolio and social media. Yeah, sometimes that's the hardest part is like adding categories to your work. But if your portfolio needs a little boost, it needs a refresh, there is a Zap you can try because keeping your portfolio up to date takes a lot of time and is easy to put on the back burner. Here is a solution. You can create a Zap that will automatically log every new project to a central portfolio database in Notion or Airtable. And the way this will work, you set up a trigger, such as when you publish a new design, campaign, or client project in platforms like Figma, Canva, or on your blog. Blogs are a great way to really add context to work that you've done. Then the action, you will be able to automatically log it with details like a preview image, a link to that full portfolio piece, a date, and also add campaign notes. And the result is your portfolio updates itself automatically every time you finish a project, keeping it current without a ton of extra effort. So, like I said, it's easy to put it on the back burner. You want, oh, bye, Anna Laura. See you next time. It's easy to put yourself on the back burner and to kind of forget about projects and things that you've done. So a Zap like this can be that good reminder. And you could always clean it up later if you want to reorganize things, but just getting it out there and organized is a great first step. Ray says it's private. I call it my "What have you done for me lately" file. I like that. Okay, let's wrap up with some industry news. I've got one more question for you, and I alluded to it, but it's about Mr. Beast. And he spoke at an event called Dealbook Summit, where he declared that YouTube is the best platform for community. Now, to give some context, he did say it's still important to be on multiple platforms and to do short form content. But for building true community, he is all in on longer form YouTube content. It says Mr. Beast also highlighted how long form videos allow creators to build stronger bonds. He said people with ridiculous views and millions of followers will do a meet and greet and can't even get 5 people to show up because there's a big difference between someone consuming a 5-second TikTok versus sitting down and watching a 20-minute YouTube and getting to know you. So he's really saying that there's a different level of connection. And we were talking about this with parasocial relationships, when you really sit down with someone and watch something long form versus kind of going through that endless stream. So my question for you is, how does long form content change your connection with the creator compared to short form? What does long form make possible that maybe is a limitation of short form? How does long form content change your connection with the creator compared to short form? What does long form make possible? You know, I kind of have to agree. I feel like being here with you guys for an hour once a week, I feel like I'm getting to know you better than if you were just in my comment section on a short form video. Oh no, is this a reference? Setting someone in a snake pit. Oh, yeah. I guess I see that. Some things have to be short form. So do you feel more connected to certain creators in a long form format? There we go. Okay. I think this is a reference to something that actually happened, Lathan, that I'm not privy to. But I believe it. I'll have to look that up. Did he do like some kind of challenge with that? He's always giving stuff away. So do you feel more connected to people via long form than short form? And I think it's true. There are some TikTok creators that I follow pretty consistently, and I don't even know their names. They just have a lot of helpful content, and when it comes down to it, I can't remember their names. I don't know. So keep sounding off on this, but I do want to wrap up. I know we're a little bit over time, but in case you missed it, here are some things that are coming up. Beyoncé, Nicole Kidman, Venus Williams, and Anna Wintour will co-chair the Met Gala, and the theme is costume art. Kelly Clarkson is performing for the NFL Game Day on Christmas, which is always the Cowboys, right? I know she's from Dallas. Cowboys. Who's the other team? I read it and can't remember, but that's what I'll be looking forward to. Not so much the football. Spotify has a new prompted playlist feature where you could fill out a prompt and it'll generate a whole suggested playlist for you. And Taylor Swift's Eras Tour docuseries is out. The first 2 episodes I've heard. Jennifer says multiple short forms and broader social presence can show more of the creator's personality versus long form if that's all they have. So I wouldn't say YouTube is best for building community. You build the community on other channels, in person, etc. Okay. It's a good distinction. Short form is quick action, Kathy Ann says. Long form is interest, high intensity. You learn more about various dimensions about people and topics in long form that you can't in short. The who behind the person. Yeah, you feel like you're having like a deeper conversation with them. Oh, Thanksgiving's always Cowboys. I think it's Chiefs versus Broncos. Is it? I want to say I could have sworn it was still the Cowboys, but maybe I'm wrong. Benjamin says, I feel like you already need some established audience to have them sit for a long form video. So yes, there would be a deeper connection because attention spans are short. So we're scanning content quickly. I too follow a bunch of creators that I don't know their names, but rather their username. I like this point because it's like you use short form to kind of reel them in and create that familiarity. And then maybe you're more likely to sit through long form. For me, it's the same as texting. Lots of short text is casual. A wall of text is for serious, or a voice note, or dare I say a phone call. I love that analogy. That's awesome. All right, friends, if you have thoughts on this, keep sharing them. But overall, I just want to thank you for joining. Woo! We'll be back next week, December 19th. Not quite Christmas yet, but thank you so much. And special thanks to our sponsor, Zapier. Go ahead and make some zaps. This is maybe the best time of year to really, hopefully your work days are slowing down a little bit and you can reevaluate some of your workflows and your systems and really optimize things for 2026. So if you have time for that in between all the family time and Christmas shopping, it's a gift that you can give yourself for sure, is to streamline your workflows. So thank you all so much for joining. I'll see you next week. And I hope you had a lot of fun today. But wait, before we go, I want to know who's playing on Christmas. Commanders versus Cowboys. So the Commanders, excuse me, the Cowboys just can't get a holiday off. They're probably away also. But we'll see Kelly Clarkson. So thanks, Amy. Thanks, Zapier. Awesome to see you guys here, and I'll see you next Friday. Bye-bye.